Anyone who disagrees with me is an incel.
Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, as you can see, we have a special guest, and this is a comedian. His name is Eli.
Why, hello there, Internet. My name is Eli Halpern. I'm the co-host of Giggle Boys podcast on the Drinking Bros Network.
And I'll make sure that I go ahead and link
One thing, giggleboys.com, patreon.com/giggleboys. I'm all about the shameless plugs, all right?
Hey,
sorry
also,
to cut you off, Jenna. Go ahead.
So today we are talking about some hot topics. One of them was feminism. Some of them were incels. So one question that we received was, why do incels always insult hot women?
Because they're not getting laid. For those who don't know what an incel is, it stands for involuntary celibate, which means that they're not getting laid, but they would like to. So the obvious reaction to not getting laid is hating people that you want to have sex with that won't have sex with you. I understand the incel mentality because I feel like I used to be one, because I didn't even kiss a girl till I was like 18. And yeah, I hated hot girls too. Prime example, this guy named Elliot Roger, he shot up Isla Vista, which is a college town in Santa Barbara where I went to school. And he actually shot several of my friends and massacred basically what was my home at the time. I had actually just dropped out a few months prior to that, so I wasn't there for the bloodshed. But I read this guy's entire manifesto because I really wanted to understand where this guy was coming from. I always want to understand the most evil humans on earth, because it just baffles me that people can be so bad. And also I wanted to understand why he did this to my community and my home. So I read it. It was a very long manifesto. And he was basically talking about how all these other people had girls and he didn't, and he should because he has money and he's good looking. And that he was a decent looking guy, and he drove a nice BMW. I think his dad was like the director of the Hunger Games or something, or a big producer in the Hunger Games.
Wow. Okay.
And so he came from a lot of money, and he only, I kept reading this, and page after page, I was thinking to myself, were you talking to girls? Were you trying to put yourself out there? And he only mentioned once that, basically, he said even on Halloween, which is a big holiday in Isla Vista specifically, where there's like 20,000 people out on the streets partying.
Right.
And he specified, even on Halloween, I couldn't work up the courage to talk to a girl. And I thought it was strange that he only mentioned that once, because I feel like the whole manifesto should have been him saying, I don't have enough courage to talk to girls, because that was really the issue at hand here. Because I read that and I was like, damn, dude, if I just met this guy like 2 days earlier, I know that wouldn't have happened. Because I would have just been like, hey, just hit on everyone and don't worry about getting rejected. And eventually someone will have sex with you.
Right. Dang.
So an incel is just someone who doesn't get to partake in the sexual activity that they would like to because of their own cowardice and their misjudgments about women's place in their lives, and feeling a lot of his entitlement, thinking that they deserve girls to come up to them.
Okay.
Which is a preposterous notion. It's not the society we live in, and it's also just men and women have different sex drives and priorities as far as self-respect and self-worth, whereas a man can go out and be with a bunch of women, and that's a good thing, and a woman can do the same thing, and she's shamed, which I think that's wrong too. I think everyone should be with whoever they want to be with.
So comment down below what your thoughts are on what he just said, and if you think that that is part of the reason why. Do you think that
anyone who disagrees with me is an incel?
You think so? Okay, so
anyone who disagrees with me or insults your looks is an incel for sure.
Okay, so, and I know Eli and I have differences in the area of kind of like religion and government per se. So and again, this whole video isn't like on that, it's around these other topics, but sometimes it can encompass some of those topics like religion and all that stuff. But just dicing off of that topic that we had discussed about incels and why they hate women, do you think that just looks has an effect on confidence with men? Like, do you think, for example, there was a question that I got that was, how do I make myself desirable to women that I feel like don't notice me?
Well, I'm a huge fan of fitness, and there's so many benefits to exercise that I think losing weight is really the first goal you should have if you want a girlfriend, not only because you're fat, but also it teaches you discipline. It teaches you how to eat better, how to live longer, and just being healthy is just better for you overall and will make you happier. But having said that, if you don't want to lose weight, if you want to stay fat, you got to be funny or you got to be rich. And getting rich is a lot harder than losing weight. So I recommend being funny. Because I got one of my best friends, Mike Eaton, the co-host on Giggle Boys with me, is he's a fat piece of shit, and he's married to a very good-looking girl. Sorry for cursing. I mean, finding someone that you want to be in a relationship with is pretty difficult and uncommon. So first of all, looks extremely important. Looks are like the most important thing to me, which I'm not proud of and I'm not happy about, but that's my sexual orientation. I don't really have control over it. I would love to be attracted to ugly people. I would be having a lot more fun nights. But what was the other thing you said?
You can be really good looking and tall and whatever, but you have
ambition.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I think ambition is the most important thing for any man to have, not just for getting, well, not for getting girls at all. You should just be ambitious. You need a goal, you need aim. And reaching that goal is not even as important as just having the goal and chasing it. The chase is more important than the accomplishment. And you need to be chasing things. You need to be trying to accomplish things. Regardless of it, achieving those accomplishments or not, you need to be on a path somewhere, preferably multiple paths. I go by 3 pillars. I have one thing that keeps me creative, one thing that keeps me making money, and one thing that keeps me physically active, with hopefully an overarching theme of community. So I do martial arts, I do comedy, I make music, I have my e-commerce businesses, and there's a community aspect in martial arts. There's a community aspect in comedy, and some of these things you won't be as lucky to have a community built around. And like my music stuff is very private and solo. I actually just released an album on Spotify. I don't know if it's out yet, under Charles Mansion. I have a different weird name for every internet account I have for some reason. I like that. I don't know if any of your followers know who MF Doom is, but he
maybe
he's a hip hop artist who's a big inspiration on me, and he went by all these different names and had all these alter egos. And Madlib, my favorite producer, does the same thing.
So all the good men want good virgin girlfriends.
Oh, that's weird and stupid, and I don't like that. How are you gonna? First of all,
do you think there's?
Why do you want a girl that doesn't have experience? You want someone who's had some rounds in the ring, you know, who knows what she's doing.
But what about even outside of that? Do you think comments like that hint at misogyny, like hatred of women? Yeah. You do?
I think anything a man says about a woman is misogynistic to some extent.
But you believe that?
Is on what spectrum? I don't know. If you're looking for a virgin, that's I mean, you have a lot of religious followers, so I guess I get that. I don't think I can
But I don't even side with that. Like, if you do something like that, it's considered like in your past. Like, I believe you should be able to forgive someone and like move forward. Like, if I, even whoever I end up marrying, like,
It comes down to jealousy.
Yeah, like I doubt my future husband is going to be a virgin. Like, let's be honest, like most people at least have sex before they're married, you know.
It comes down to jealousy, because guys, a lot of guys will say they don't want a girl with a high body count. You know, if you're not going to pay the same for a pair of shoes that have been ran in for 100 miles. And it's like, that's not how the human body works. Okay. You don't get stretched out by having a lot of hookups. If that was the case, the loosest girls would be the ones that have been in committed relationships, because they have the most action. So that argument is stupid. And there's still guys that say things like that. As far as body count, that just goes back to jealousy. Like, guys are not okay with the thought of the girl they're with having been with other men that are potentially more alpha than them. It just goes back to like primitive ape mentality of, you know, I want to get rid of the other males, be the dominant one, kill the children, continue my bloodline. It usually doesn't go that far, but like that's what happens in the animal kingdom. Right. And we're still animals.
Right. Yeah. See, I understand what you're saying. And again, him and I have differences in some areas like that based on like what we believe in, and that's fine. But I think we can relate on a lot of topics. A lot of people were commenting saying that, you know, they don't want to be with women that have high body counts. And a lot of them were people that weren't even religious. So my question to that was, in like a good world, it would more be like you're trying to protect yourself from the wrong people until you meet the right person. Does that make sense?
I have felt like that. Currently, my ambitions and aspirations are not trying to find anyone. I'm just trying to maximize my human potential.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that kind of thought process of trying to maximize your human potential and see what you're capable of will attract the right person, because looking for the right person is not how you find them. That's how you settle for someone. When someone comes along, when you're doing your thing and you're doing right and you're focused and you're grinding, that's a blessing, and that's a good thing. But well, that was very vague. But basically what I'm saying, if you're going out looking for people, literally like going out to bars and trying to find people, you're probably not going to find the best people. I'm not saying don't do that. I'm just saying don't be
careful with who you give your time.
Careful with your expectations. Don't build a romanticized version of people in your head. A lot of people have this problem with, they meet someone and rather than taking them at face value, they use their imagination, which is understandable because your own imagination is better than anything in reality.
Right.
So people create these, they put the potential partner on a pedestal and create these imaginary scenarios or personality traits based on what they want or what they hope them to be or hope them to grow into. And you see this a lot with like women that want to fix men, and they date a lot of broken men trying to help them out and become like a mother figure to them. And those same men had issues with their mother, so they want a mother figure to date. And then it just becomes like a weird, like Oedipus therapy session,
right?
That usually it doesn't turn out well. But at the same time, if things don't work out and you break up and you still have all your money and self-respect and you haven't gotten beaten, that still worked out. Like you learned from it, you had a good time, you shared those good memories. So having a relationship that ends is not a waste. And I don't like how the people say it didn't work out. I had a joke, things didn't work out with my girlfriend, we're still together. So for me personally, if a relationship didn't work out for me, I would still be with her.
Commented and said, Have you thought about streaming on Twitch and starting your own podcast and starting your own vlog channel on YouTube and starting TikTok account, doing things where you invite more people on it? I would like you to start a Patreon and OnlyFans. Okay.
You should be in movies and porn.
Someone said his hair is longer than yours.
Oh, this old thing?